Hey, howdy everybody, Lightart here, and today we are talking about the laws of equestrian magic. Now, magic has been very flexible in this world, and it seems like there are very few limits to what one is able to do. However, there are certain principles and certain patterns I've seen throughout the series that give us a pretty good idea of a, u- n- no, of magic in general in equestrian society. Before we begin, please like and subscribe down below. Please share the video. I'm trying to get my name out there a bit more. And let's get going. Now, one of the first principles we see is that energy doesn't come from nothing, but it's able to be converted. We never see, no, we see from it isn't the main thing about you that Rarity's main isn't able to come from just anywhere. That they needed to get something from somewhere, which actually goes into the first law of thermodynamics. Also known as the law of conservation of energy, it states that energy cannot be created or destroyed in an isolated system. Basically, magic can't come from nowhere. It resides in every pony, but one cannot use its magic to just make some, to just make something. They can use it as a energetic conducting beam, but it's not able to come from nowhere. However, we are able to see that one is able to convert the molecular structure of things, which actually goes into the law of conservation of mass, or the principle of mass conservation. I might pronounce the last one wrong, please forgive me, science wasn't my strong suit. But basically, mass cannot be created or destroyed. It may be rearranged in space or changed into a different form, like ice turning into water, uh, burning wood turning into smoke and heat, and so on and so forth. When no, and it kind of goes back to all those times when you see somebody turn something from one thing into another, like an apple to a rock or a random object into a teacup. Just basically one can change the form of something, and all honestly gives us the idea that in Twilight and Starlight's training montage, that they didn't make life, they merely teleported a nest of eggs into there, no, into the castle. So for all of those who are wondering, I don't believe they made sentient life. They're not gods. And now we're going to get into three of the main things I need a pony needs in order to be able to cast magic. One is is the energy itself, or we can go with every medieval game and video game we've ever watched, and let's go with mana storage. Why don't we? Basically, every pony has an amount of mana which they have access to. Where the source of all of this energy comes from, I don't know. Not going to dive into that. You can come up with some crazy stuff on your own. That probably is some history that's yet to be revealed. Will they reveal it in season 9? Maybe, maybe not. However, no. It's true that even objects can achieve this through the law of conversation, uh, in no, of conducting energy. Basically, one can infuse magical energy with specific tasks into an object. Base, and also take note that certain spells require a certain amount of mana. Now, this is once again going into every video game you've ever played. But however, the principle applies. Something like restoring a crystal heart requires more energy than a simple levitation spell. But basically, in order to need a spell, you need to have the set amount of energy in order to do it. And you see in certain episodes that certain spells can be taxing, you know, and you see it in the physical state. You see Twilight sweat every now and then when she's trying to do spells. The second rule is the, mm, is the object a way to conduct that energy. Oh, was that the first rule? No, that was Maple. Forgive me, I'm doing this one shot. I have no clue how to edit stuff. Oh well, let's keep going. Now, you need some way to conduct that energy, which is the reason why you don't see many Earth ponies or Pegasi exerting exerting mystical energy. However, it has been proven that they do have magic. Magic that allows a Pegasi to walk on clouds. And basically that goes basically they have different forms of conducting it. And then thirdly, emotional state. Starlight Glimmer ended up saying that the strength of her magic tends to depend on how she's feeling. So and literally that brings up the theory of adrenaline induced strengths of magic, basically adrenaline induced magic, allowing a higher exertion of magical force. And for ponies that can, earth ponies that can extend more into, how we perceive adrenaline, as in great feats of strength or speed. And with unicorns, it'd be similar, only stronger spells, stronger attacks. Basically, the three things you need: one, energy; two, a way to conduct; and three, the will to make it work. That's kind of the baseline of magic right there. Basically, will, magic, and knowledge. Basically, some unicorns take a long time. I think that was the one I missed. That was magic. That was knowledge. You need to know how to do what you're trying to do. Basically, if I have a car, but I don't know how it works, that car is literally useless to me, no matter how much gas is in the tank or how much horsepower it has. It's useless until I know that you're supposed to stick the key into the ignition. And the last thing I want to talk about with the loss of magic is really relates to cutie marks in the whole. Basically, certain people get access to certain areas of magic. Some people, like Twilight Sparkle, Starlight Glimmer, their cutie marks and their strengthened mana reserves allow them to tap into a stronger realm of magic, a wider variety of magic. While people like Rarity, hers is more focused on gems and stuff. Pinkie Pie, admittedly, is just chaotic in a sense, but basically she's spontaneous. That's how her thing works. You got majority of Pegasi who focus on weather manipulation, or ponies like Fluttershy who have animal communication skills. And basically, think no. Then you have, I think some of the best examples are Celestia and Luna. Celestia has a sun, Luna has a moon. They are able to do more than that, but it's basically the cutie mark is the key, is kind of like a fingerprint, unique to every pony, allowing them to tap into that specific kind of magic, unique to everybody else's. Now basically, some ponies learn more and they decide to delve deeper into the realms of magic. There are some basic spells that everybody can do. But then and this goes back to one of the earliest episodes when Twilight says that most people don't. No, most ponies only learn a little under a dozen spells. No, 1 or 2 dozen spells. But that actually gives you a pretty good idea of why. Because basically, when you start falling into that place of life, you don't really need to know every spell in the book. Think of it, think about it like languages. Most people, no, there are some people who know several languages, but there are some who sell in one part of the world or another, and they stick to, no, and they stick to their main languages. Most people only know 2 or 3. I frankly only know 1. But it gives you an idea of why every unicorn isn't spamming a truckload of spells. Why unicorn, no, why so many ponies default to beam attacks and no, to telekinesis. Because frankly, it's all they really need. They find where they're comfortable at and they stay there. Basically, one can expand one's range of magic. Through training, all that fun stuff, one can become stronger. Mm. er. And I'm hoping that through this video, it kind of gives you an idea of some of the baselines of how magic spells work, and how energy and about how magic is so unique to every pony. And I know the last part is pretty much a given, but I think the first part will be able to give everybody more of a baseline. And that's it. Admittedly, I came up with this list just because I thought it'd be fun to make sense of something in a fictional world that really isn't supposed to make sense. But I think some of you might find it interesting. That's all I have for today. Please like, subscribe down below, share the video, check out my film fiction and Patreon pages. Also, I want to give a bit of a shout out to some of the people who ended up doing art, some art pieces for me. One of them actually made a new picture of my OC, and I wanted to mention them. Mr. Tech, he made a picture of my OC for my film fiction stories. No, basically, and he did a pretty good job. Admittedly, he forgot the key mark, but I'm willing to let that slide. The guy's awesome. I wish I had a link to a page of his, but he's on Film Fiction. You can look it up, Mr. Tech. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to another person who's helping me out recently. It's Script Singer, and I'll be leaving her DeviantArt page down below. She's starting to work on the piece for one of my stories. And I have one more guy whom I'm missing here and I can't seem to find. I'll probably mention him in my next video. But thank you all so much for helping me out. You've been a big help. My name is Lightheart, and I'll see y'all next time.